All right, we're looking at IWM, the Russell 2000 ETF, as of the close on April 28th. And I want to point out what we're looking at from the past week's action. We had a declining resistance line in the form of this yellow line here, which caused a top to occur on March 1st. It lined up with a major lateral resistance level that we had at the same point, which was perfect, and we were very happy with this top. We thought it was going to be the bull market top, and it started looking that way, and we became heavily short off of that idea. We've then ran up to the descending line, and stopped there for a day, and then gapped above it last week. And this caused some problems with our interpretation of where major descending resistance is. We didn't expect this line to be broken. Then we reached the lateral line that occurred at the March 1st high, where we thought that resistance would hold as well. That was pushed through a little bit further. In looking at the pattern, this level is fine. It works just fine as a top. It's not as beautiful as this line would have been. The symmetry is a little bit less here. And then we wanted to get an idea of, would this declining line work here as well? And it does. And we then even had a shorter term resistance line that lined up in approximately the same spot. So we've now had a sell-off down to the former resistance line, this lower yellow resistance line. We've dropped back to it, which is what we expected. You don't typically gap beyond a line like that and not revisit it. So now it was resistance. We've revisited that line, and now it should act as support. We expect a bounce from here. If we don't get it, that would be surprising, but if we don't, and it breaks back into below this line, then this bearish pattern is back in play. And at some point we think it will be, but we don't think it's going to be right away. We think we're probably going to get a bounce off the top side of this line. As I said, it should act as support. And then we want to get an idea of if the Russell is going to continue to run higher, how much higher could it run? And are there other possibilities? Personally, I like this level here. I like the resistance areas that line up at this spot, but we want to we want to open ourselves up to the possibility that it could go higher, and if so, how much higher could it go before we give up on our bear thesis? And for that, we have another lateral line that comes in quite a bit higher, at about 144 in the next week or so. And there is another declining resistance target there as well that would line up for that area too. So these three areas work as resistance tops, bull market tops. And at this point, we would still be bearish. Beyond it, we would give up on the entire bear thesis. We would switch over to being bulls again, and we would say that above 144, we'd have to say the bull market's back on. The next level that we can even see as potential resistance would be approximately at 150, and that does not have the kind of symmetry that we're looking for. It's not as beautiful. It plausibly could work, but it's much higher. So we would have to assume that markets are going, significantly higher if we were to exceed 144. So that's more or less the longer term picture here. Let's take a look at the short term picture. So going into this week, we'll just actually take a look at last week. This is the yellow line that we popped above. And broke. There was a minor resistance level here where we did peak so far last week. As we see, we've fallen back down to the yellow line, which was the major resistance level, and it should now act as support. And when we look at hourly, this is an hourly chart, and you look at hourly RSI, it's very oversold. So that makes sense for being this oversold. We should see a move back up, and likely to hit this purple declining target resistance, which we did not hit. We came very close, but we barely missed it. It's declining. It would not be surprising to see the Russell IWM here run back up, tag that line, and then sell off again. Preferably, we'd like to see the purple line hit below the red line. So that may take a few days, and then we could hit it, say, May 5th or after, and satisfy both of these lines. And then we could see a sell-off from there, and even one that penetrates below this yellow line here. So this, for the short term, for this week, we are looking for some strength, a bounce, and then once this purple line is achieved, then we would expect a reversal back down. How strong is unclear, but we'll take a look at it when it happens, and if it happens midweek or during the week, we'll cover that on the live blog. That's my update for IWM as of the end of April 28th.